Yeah. So what? It's your boy Bits and Bob. Yes, people, we are live. We are meeting. It's basically the UK meets down under. We've got Skippy get out of the water, and we've got Bear Grylls. Listen, guys.
I love
Listen,
it.
I am Bits and Bobs, and this is the wrap up. I'm back with my co-host Ladimus Prime in the building from First 11. Prime, you good? You're on mute, bro. Out here looking like a notorious B.I.G. Mr. Christopher Wallace. Bro, we'll come back to Prime. We've got Spice. Nearly it's bedtime. Spice, you cool?
Yeah, man. I'm cool. Very tired right now, but I'm just hanging in there, man. I'm just hanging
man's
in
acting
there.
like he's been 10 rounds with Tyson Fury. We move.
No, I've been 10 rounds with Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, bro. 12
Listen, we'll
rounds.
get onto that. We've got to that. We've got
So,
Borce. Borce and KG making his debut. KG from the football capital. KG, before Borce goes on his rant, KG, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well, Bobs, man. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm really excited and look ready to have a bit of a chat about the weekend. So thanks for having me, fellas.
No, listen, you're part of the football family, bro. Listen, it's family. And now we've got Prime that's back. You all right, Prime? You there?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
Bonjour.
Yeah,
Ça va?
I'm good. Ça va bien. Ça va bien.
Ça va bien, yeah. Bueno. Right. But you good, though, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, cool. Listen, lads. Look, Prime, if you can tweet out the socials, because I'm
I'll do
very
that
bad
now.
at marketing. So, listen. Leicester,
Hey,
Manchester United.
just skip my intro, yeah? Skip my intro. Everyone get a nice one. Here we go, mate.
You've got enough to say, Borce. You've got enough to say.
KG, if you've never noticed, there's a segment in the show and it's called Borce Rants.
I think it happened on Spice's channel.
Yeah, I had to
yesterday,
mute
so-
him. I had to mute him for a bit.
First
you know?
time ever. The first
I
time
was
ever.
watching.
Mute someone. So
I was watching.
I'm
I
out here
heard your
getting
next
my
invite got lost in
irrelevant.
the post, Borce.
No, they want him back. I keep telling him they want him back like Jackson 5. They was singing it for me. They're like, we want that guy back.
Oh, is it? That's it. Listen, I mean, I suppose Borce takes the diversity on your show, so that's good.
Of course.
But listen. There's nowhere else to start, right? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was outfoxed by Brendan Rodgers. Now, before we go into the Man United players, right? International break, guys. So we know what international break means. KG, you're a manager. International break means all the injured players have more time to recover. You know, the people that are trying to look for more fitness, they're training more, recuperation. Also, if you're fortunate to have majority of your players back, you work on new shape, new drills, and so on and so on. And also, you've got 2 weeks to work on your next opponents. Now, Leicester City, okay? I don't know if you heard Brendan Rodgers' interview after the game. He said we knew that they didn't press from the middle, and we worked on that the whole international break to go through the middle. I thought that was very damning. I thought it was very damning in the sense that he was right, very bold and brave, but he was also right. And how right he was, you know, Tielemans, Sumari, Madison, it looked like they were playing in their back garden, literally. You know, just enjoying themselves. We will go to Man United, obviously, but I think we should touch on Leicester because I think this whole weekend, no one's really given them any credit how they set up, how they start to play. KG, you're the first one on the show, first time on the show. So, what was your thoughts on Leicester City? The lineup, the individuals in midfield, and how they played.
Yeah, I think they got it right. Like I know obviously we've got a bit of a group chat going, but I pretty much said congratulations to them, right? So, although we were poor, they actually executed a really good game plan.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to Rodgers after the game, but you could just see that they knew what they had to do to beat United. They knew what they were going to do. They anticipated what United was going to do. It was actually surprising that we didn't press them at all. Like you would see that, Ronaldo and Sancho and Greenwood would just, and even Bruno would just sit. And there was a point where they were just standing still. So Leicester was prepared for that to happen, which was quite surprising because it's not like United. So it's a bit of a surprise. But Brendan Rodgers, and we touched on it on our show yesterday. Like he's a good manager, right? He knows how to set up his teams. But at the same time, I was sort of confident in how Leicester was building in this season. I know they didn't start well, but I was confident that they were going to come with some sort of game plan, some sort of attack, and they're dangerous on the park. They've got the players. And we haven't been in best form. And then the moment I saw our lineup, and there was a few question marks, and we'll touch on that in a second. But Rodgers, the team, they executed a great game plan. It was actually an outstanding game to watch for the neutral with 6 goals. But you know, the frustrations on the other end, it's you know, whilst they played really well, you know, we didn't have any favors on the other end either from United and from Ole.
KG, did you think it was interesting he played 2 up front?
No, I
if you
thought
notice, he went back to his back 3. You know, he likes that. He got the players. I thought that was. I don't know what the rest of the guys think, but I thought that was so clinical.
But why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you against a United side that's, you know, that's shaky at the back, that hasn't really worked out how they're going to defend teams? You know, you see Maguire on the team sheet. Of course, you're gonna put the pressure on. So to go 2 up front and 2 pretty dangerous strikers, and Vardy's always done it to us in the past. So why wouldn't you go with 2 up front? That's going to be the way. That's going to be your way through, and they've got enough personnel behind those front 2 to get the job done against, you know, what United was trying to do on the weekend. So yeah, no, going to 2 up front, I think was a smart move, and it paid off. But you know what? It's also a one-off type thing. You know, it's a one-off game for Leicester. They haven't really shown that type of form up until this match. I know they were building towards it, but they went for it and they reaped the rewards. Because don't forget, for up until the 75th minute, it was only 2-2. So it wasn't. The game wasn't lost.
That, KJ. Let me stop you there, right? Let me stop you there, guy. Okay. Before it was 2-0, right? Before that, right? Spice, I'm going to get you to come in here, okay? And guys, remember it's a chat, so it's not like I have to go to someone. If KG's talking, you don't like something, just jump in or whatever, right? KG said something there that you know, it was good for the neutral, but he said we need to remember it was 2-0. Before that, right? Okay. When they conceded against Greenwood, they did not panic. They didn't. The heads weren't going down. They keep playing their game. Now, what does that tell you, Spice? KG, what's your prime? What does that tell you? You know, they knew what the plan was. They knew not to panic. I feel like a football team should replicate their manager. And when do you ever see Brendan Rodgers panic? You don't see him really stressed. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you guys?
Brendan Rodgers has an ice cool look to him. He seems like a man that's very sure about what the things that he's doing. So as soon as they equalized, they didn't panic. They knew exactly what the game plan was. It's an interesting thing because it doesn't take much to figure out what Manchester United want to do. Even a blind man can see what Manchester United is trying to do. Even a toddler can figure out what Manchester United is trying to do in terms of the way they will set up and play football. So I have to say, as soon as Leicester conceded a goal, I can clearly see the manager looking at him saying that, you know what? I'm not worried. I know that these players will come back into the game because we know exactly what the game plan is, what we're going to execute. And it told. As soon as we scored that first goal, we went back on being on the back foot. Leicester again started piling on some pressure. Eventually equalized. And then from there, they knew exactly that, yeah, we can win this game.
Spice, did you think it was funny when we scored? Did you think it was funny? When I say funny, let me elaborate. It was that Greenwood, I feel Greenwood, I'm going to touch on Greenwood as well later on, but I think Greenwood, I feel sorry for Greenwood because I think like we're not coaching him. And when I say coaching him, I'm not saying cones out, get the drills, do your ins and out, get the short and short. I'm talking about playing up front and playing wide are 2 different kinds of phases of play. Different 2 kinds of games. Because when you play wide, wide or wide forward, whichever one, the job really is to create.
Exactly so.
That's the initial plan. And I just feel Greenwood's he's just doing the same thing, cutting and hitting. And I think he knows if he gets a couple of yards short on target, he can hit it top or bottom corner. And big up to everyone in the comments. Please smash a like.
You know what, Bob? Let me just answer your question because obviously, you know where this will lead to. The answer will lead to exactly because the reason why we've seen Greenwood come in, we know that he's going to do step overs, cut in left or cut into the right side and try and hit the top corners. We've seen him do it so many times, and at times it's worked for him, and at times, most of the time, it hasn't. It all leads down to whoever is instructing him, whoever is mentoring him. playing up front is very different from playing on the wing. And he hasn't been educated in the fact that when he's on the wing, this is what you need to do. You need to cross. You need to go down the byline, beat a man, cross the ball, feed in your striker, because you're a playmaker. You're part of the creative force in that team. It's with the midfielders and the wingers. The striker scores the goals because it's a teamwork at the end of the day. So I'm not surprised about that. That he's been doing the same repetitive thing, because there's a lot of players in our first team, starting lineup, that do the same shenanigans that they've been doing from the moment they got in here. So that is no surprise to me, Bobs. I don't know what you have to say about that, Borce. What do you think?
But yeah, because I mean, do you guys, notice Botchy's been quiet? I feel like the new segment of the show. New segment of the show has got to Botchy. Botchy's like 45 minutes in.
I can't be bothered, bro. I can't be bothered. I had to do it on my podcast, and I went on Spices, and it's I just can't be bothered speaking about this fucking team anymore, bro.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to start with Leicester, because do you know what? Like, I've watched the game twice, right? And do you know what? Credit where credit's due. They had our number, even when we went 1-0 up, and we brought it back. What I love about our team is that they never panic. It reminds me of the old Juve, the old Italian teams, Juve, AC Milan, and the old Inter, when they could see that it was like, okay, we go again. They were always confident in winning. And I thought with the two strikers, it's very odd that we see two strikers, and I think it's brilliant. I think it's refreshing. Kalichi, skillful, cultured left foot, strong, pacey. Vardy, we know Vardy. Listen, Vardy and his Red Bull diet. Do you know what I mean? And we know what we're going to get with that. And they made Man United look amateurs. I'm just going to try and get to the comments, because we've got a few people there.
It's interesting, because you ask yourself, did Brendan Rodgers anticipate or predict that Maguire will be playing with Lindelof, for him to play two fast-paced strikers that will cause them problems?
Well, but the thing is, right? But the thing is, though, like, if you think about it, if you are Leicester City, right, and you've got Jamie Vardy, you play on Harry Maguire regardless, fit or not fit. You play on Harry Maguire. Even if Varane was there, you play on Harry Maguire. It's what you do. You smell blood, and where you smell the blood, you attack. So do you know, it doesn't really matter. But for me, it was just so, how good were they and how bad we were. But it wasn't the same case that Leicester made us look bad. We were just bad. Leicester just looked even greater. I'm just going to go to the comments, guys. We've seen a few people in the comments. Big up to everyone. Ravi, big up Ravi. Do the players need to take responsibility? We will get to that, Ravi. That's going to be one in the next segment. Nathan, big up to you, Nathan. Conrad as well. Man like PR7 going ghost. Conrad, big up to yourself. Oh, Ravi, bro. Don't, bro. We're not singing any of those kind of songs. Greenwood and Rashford carrying United. I don't even agree with that. I don't think no one's carrying Man United right now, to be honest. The kitman's carrying the kit. That's all that's carrying Man United. Listen, the Scottish fans, I can't talk for every Scottish United fan, but I know a few, and we're not happy, man. Not happy at all. Big up Prime in the cut. Simo service. Telling Victor, I'm glad I don't have all these. Yeah. Nathan's saying basically, Ollie generally can't improve any players at all. Deep it. Even as much shit Pep gets for the spend, at least he improves players. Yeah, look, that's a good point. We're going to comment on that, right? So let's segue, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. Team lineup. We always talk about the team lineup on the wrap up. We always go back and forth. But I think this team lineup, we have a right to ask a few questions. KG, sorry, Prime, actually. Prime, I've not heard you speak there. Are you still eating, Prime? Sorry.
What? No, I'm good.
Yeah, he's just glad that Ollie's not his manager.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it's not. No, it's not even that. I hear you guys keep talking Ollie. What I saw in that game, the Tillemans goal, it was quite fluky. He shouldn't.
Before the Tillemans goal, we're going to talk about the lineup, Man United lineup. Now, guys, 2 weeks. He's not 2.5 weeks. Harry Maguire's not trained. Now, forget it's Harry Maguire. Okay, let's just say it's a professional footballer. Okay, an elite performer. Okay. If you have not trained for 2.5 weeks, how are you expected to perform at the best level? I don't think.
He hasn't trained.
He hadn't trained for 2.5 weeks.
Yep. Okay. And that's my issue, Bobs, because for a United fan, and what's happening within your club, there was no way there was no way that I was expecting Harry Maguire on that team sheet at all.
No chance.
Like for me, I was like Varane, Maguire out. I already knew Fred and Cavani were going to be, away with international duty. So those 4 names were already ruled off the team sheet from the beginning. So how does he end up on a team sheet? That's my question. Like I don't think any United fan was going to expect that at all.
Steve, put it the other way, so it's landscape.
Sorry, bro.
Please,
Let me
mate.
just do that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Fucking
KG, you're right. You're right. You're right. And I think KG, you're a manager of a very good football team. I'm hearing.
Borce is my striker.
Does he press?
He's the only one that does.
So, Steve, welcome to the show, sir. Welcome. How are you doing?
Man, it could be better. Technical difficulties like you won't believe.
Listen. Christ, don't you worry about that, mate. Don't you worry. But you're here anyway. Appreciate you and good morning to you, bro.
Cheers, bro.
KG, as you were saying, right? KG, like you're a manager, KG, and we know Borce is quite ignorant to his ankle injury, but you know yourself. If you see Borce struggling, he's struggling to make a 10-15 yard sprint, struggling to kick the ball. You know yourself. Listen, Borce, you're not playing. But
I'm very clinical, though. I'm very clinical, so like
I know, but like, come on, like, okay, we're saying elite level, okay. You've not trained for 2.5 weeks. Okay. The night before Leicester away, you decide to pick him. Now, pause. Okay. Let's talk about the other centre-backs in the team, morale-wise. I can imagine Eric Bailly probably putting a shift every session now, pushing for a start. He's probably thinking, Leicester, fast, physical. I can be combative to that. You can even say, listen, I'll even type in Phil Jones, whatever. We know he's on the bench. But I'm just saying, though,
Scott McTominay.
before Harry's picked, right? Okay, you must. If you're Eric Bailly, you must be thinking, I'm in. Surely, right?
No,
right?
No.
I'm in with a chance.
You're hoping that you're in a chance because your colleagues.
Okay, my question is that who else plays then? If you know Harry Maguire is not fit and coming back from injury, he's not trained in 2.5 weeks. You must think you're in. You're the next centre back.
No.
I remember Varane's injured.
No.
Right? Varane's injured.
I know. That's why I'm saying no. Is playing Leicester a big game?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So going to a big game against Leicester or United, Chelsea, there's no other big teams in the Prem. So playing up a big game, you're going to want to go with some of your best players. And seeing as there's no Varane, Maguire is your best centre back, and he has to play. If Bailly played the squad, but it's not disregarding. But not necessarily. Again, not necessarily. Like I understand the injury, and I'm not saying it's the best thing to do. I'm saying I understand as to why. Because if Bailly played, would have done something stupid, like maybe get sent off or maybe get injured, and all of a sudden you're down to 3 centre.
But hindsight,
it's hindsight. But I understand why, because if you play Maguire and you win the game, then all of a sudden it's a genius look. Other managers have done things like that before, so I understand as to why. It's not like it's only looks bad because you guys lost. I understand.
But I don't understand that when you got 5, 6. We got to run a fixtures that doesn't allow him to pick up another injury or worsen the injury that he's got. So from an Ollie perspective, he's got to be smart about, do I risk him at Leicester with the next 5 or 6 games for us are Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Champions League. They're all in the mix in the next 5 or 6 games. So why risk Maguire for a game against Leicester when you probably need the squad depth and rotation? So give them some time.
Yeah. But it's not even risking Maguire. You're risking it for the team. And it cost him. At the end of the day, Harry Maguire was involved in the first goal directly. Maybe you can say it's his fault. Then the rest, you look at the rest of the goals. He played a part in why we conceded in the other 3. So 4 goals we conceded. Maguire's.
But not even before we go to the goals, right? Before we go to the goals, because I heard what KG said. So,
yeah, but
I like what Prime said. Prime, I hear what you're saying, right? But Prime. Not Prime, but Prime. My reply to that, Steve. Just to fast forward you, what we're talking about, Steve. We're talking about the Leicester game. We've talked about Leicester, how they set up, how they play. Now we're talking about how the lineup You know how we always talk about the lineup and who we
Yeah.
expected and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about that, and we're talking about obviously elephant in the room, Harry Maguire, and the context was
The big elephant.
he's not trained for 2.5 weeks, and we were saying before the Leicester game that in international break, good thing about international break is that the injured players have got more time to recuperate, recover, do whatever rehab. The French players trying to get more fitness. You know, you try to recuperate and you work on new things, either new shape, new drills, whatever. And I was just saying that 2.5 weeks, he hasn't trained or anything. The day before, he puts the boots on to go on the grass. And, you know, Prime's just said that, Prime's asked us, is Leicester away a big game? I think, hell yeah, it's a big game. Now, Prime said something that's, okay, he could say that Varane's out, so your next best defender is Harry Maguire. However, to perform at an elite level, if he's only been on the grass for a couple of hours, how can you field them against a combative Vardy and Kalichi?
I'm not saying it's the best thing to do, by the way.
No,
I'm not even saying.
I think it's out of desperation.
Yeah, I understand
It
that.
looks like a desperate move.
Yeah. When does Varane? Wait, hold on.
Though?
When does Varane come back? By the way.
Probably
In about
after-
2 or 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Because he was projected to be out.
So you're desperate. Look, again, I understand as to why other managers have done this before, by the way, and sometimes it works and you're a genius. When it doesn't work, you're an idiot. Like, I understand that.
But Prime, what I'm saying is this though, okay? Make me understand the logic. And I said to you, forget that it's Harry. No, hear what I said. I said, forget it's Harry Maguire. Okay, forget it's Harry Maguire. An elite football player or whatever has not trained in their sport for 2.5 weeks to go into a competitive game against, you've got everything in Vardy and Kalichi, right?
Yeah.
As a two.
Yeah.
How can you say, what says to you, I'm going to pick this player?
You're going into a big game with one of your best centre backs injured, being completely out in Varane, and your other best centre back, like, fine, you can say he hasn't. I understand that, but he's not match fit in terms of training or whatever. But he's there. He's no longer injured.
When does
I understand. Because Bailly's a fool. He's going to do something like get sent off or pick up an injury. Bailly is not. This fascination United fans have. Bailly is not good. He would have played. He would have done something stupid, like get injured or whatever, or get sent off.
And it would have been the same result.
The scoreline would have been worse. Then all of a sudden, United fans will switch it and be like, because if this was the other way around, it was Varane, and Varane didn't play, and he played Bailly and Lindelof, and you guys get battered. All of a sudden, they're saying, why not just play Varane? Varane's fit. Just play Varane.
Listen to what I'm saying. I get what you're saying, but I don't think you get what I'm trying to say. If your next best centre back has not physically trained, how can you justify by picking him?
I've explained why.
Prime. Also, consider the fact that nobody knew that Maguire was meant to be fit to play until the day, not the day before. All of us, Manchester United, knew that we were going into that game with Bailly and Lindelof, and all of a sudden, midday, we're told that Maguire will be playing.
I know, and sometimes again that happens where you get like a late fitness test and you're cleared to play. Again, I'm not saying, by the way, it's the best thing to do.
No, I get it.
I understand. I understand it. I'm sure. Ferguson has done that before in the past, and sometimes it's worked, and sometimes it hasn't. It happens.
No,
because a lot of managers have pulled that move. It just didn't work out this time. Is all it is.
Yeah.
Fergie's went to Fulham at Craven Cottage with a back three of Fletcher, Carrick, and flipping Evra. You know, like, if they're not, they're not playing.
I can remember.
And if you guys had gone to, and if Fergie had done that, and if Fergie does that, like you said against Fulham, if Fergie does that and you get battered by Fulham, all of a sudden it's like, why did Fergie do that? Why didn't he just rush back one of the centre backs? I know what fans are like. Fans will flip flop because they'll say, "Why not have done this?" If it's the other way around, like,
you
need to remember, we're a lot older than you. So when it comes to like flip flopping, we don't do that. We're not social media here. We're actual older men.
But I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking. Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But I'm saying, I remember we went to Fulham and got beat 3-0, and it was a back three of Darren Fletcher, Michael Carrick, and Patrice Evra.
And we understood.
We got done. Okay,
But we
but
knew.
we understood because we didn't have any fit centre backs. Okay, for him, if he had played Vida and Rio, and he wouldn't do that because they're not fit. You're as useful as a chocolate mug. Sorry, Steve, I cut you off. Sorry, I beg your pardon.
No. Keep going. No. It's all good. You're
I'll
pretty much saying what I was about to say.
Yeah, look, I'm
Yeah, but you can't compare with. Sorry, I just want to say you can't compare Fulham at that time, or I'm assuming were Fulham at that time at the level Leicester are of now, where it's a big game
Can I
playing.
give you another example?
He's just saying it in
AC
general.
Milan, Hensei, Evra, 2 centre backs.
There
He
you
had
go.
no centre backs, but he decided to play his 2 left backs as centre back. He's taking that risk. We went into that match knowing that we probably might be in trouble. But shit, it is what it is.
And then
It's
on the
same
other
thing with
hand,
this game.
yeah, and on the other hand, mentality-wise, is it not KG? I'm going to bring you into this because you're the manager. Is it not technically a boost for Bailly to
Killing me.
That's
Steve KG? What is it not a boost to say like
Yeah,
Bailly, I
that's-
trust you?
that's
Well,
what I
yeah,
was trying to say. Yeah.
It shows that he's going to get some. He's going to get a selection. He's going to get a look in. See, sorry to cut you off, but now Bay's probably thinking, "What do I got to do to get a look in? Does Maguire have to be in a wheelchair for me to get on the pitch?" So it's going to demoralise him a little bit. I mean, not a little bit. It's actually demoralising him a lot. It's going to make him feel as if he's surplus to requirements. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. And imagine that 2.5 weeks there, international break. He's not went away with Ivory Coast. He's thinking Harry's not training. I'm in.
I'm sharp. And he's probably been pushing for it. He's probably been really pushing in training, getting his head right, and now, look, it's a risk. It's a big risk to play Maguire. I can see where Prime's coming from. He is your best centre-back. Leicester, this isn't a big game, but it's big importance. You need 3 points. I don't see Leicester as a big game. I see the 3 points being the big deal, and that's probably why he fielded Maguire. But I do think that Maguire looked lethargic. He looked slow. He was a liability in this game. And to be honest, if you got a fit centre back in Eric Bailly, it's not a risk. It's actually more of a risk to play Maguire and hope for some brilliance. Do you know what I mean? It would have been better to play by, probably smarter to play by. I know he hasn't been on the pitch much, but he's going to be G'd up for this game. And to be perfectly honest, it's a squad selection issue. If he doesn't rate by, then who is he going to put in next time? Well, let's say you lose Varane and Maguire. What happens then?
But can I say something to add to Bailly's happiness or whatever motivation level? Is the fact that our captain played a horrible game and not even at one point did he take him off and said, "You know what, Bailly, just go."
Yeah. Do you not think? Yeah, do you know? Not that we're picking on Harry, okay? Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's Harry's fault. I do think slightly it's a little bit. He should have been like, listen.
Borce will disagree.
No, it's his fault.
I think. Let me jump in here quickly because your marquee has been sitting back here listening to a bit of rubbish. Yeah?
Our marquee,
Marquee signing,
Get him, Borce, get him.
Look, one thing is to play him. One thing is to play Maguire, right? Now, to be honest, I thought 100% Maguire wasn't even going to be on the team sheet, not even on the bench. 100%. I thought he loves McTominay. Fred's not here. I got to play one of them. Oh, I was watching Scotland. Where was McTominay playing? Centre back. Let me probably put McTominay in. That was my guess. McTominay in centre back, and that probably could have worked because he's got the legs and he can probably chase down Vardy. Because that's obviously like Bob's was saying. Vardy was always going to target Maguire, fit or not fit. He was always going to target that guy, and anyone could have, like you said, Phil Jones. Bailly comes into that squad. It's not more of a risk to put someone else in because you lose them errors. He was 10 paces behind everyone. I don't even like he looks surprised that the game was even like kicked off. You're saying 30 seconds in, he's kicking it into the grandstand. So already from minute 1, there's an issue. So that's you put that on the manager about you selecting him in the first place. Not even on the bench. If Maguire was on the bench, then you can say because he was in a boot 2 weeks later, he's in the Europa League final on the bench. Are you kidding me? Yeah, so why? Like, what's the difference? Like, now you want to play him? Like, I don't know what Ollie's going, like, what he's doing here. But with Maguire, you are the captain, you are the leader. Yeah, be true to yourself. If you can't get on a field, if you know yourself that you're injured and you can't put in what you need for the team, then say, Ollie or coach, whatever, not today for me. Yeah, be the bigger man in this situation because I'm sick of these players. they want to play injured, and then Rashford's coming out after, oh, we've been playing injured. Well, bro, take the day off.
Yeah.
This player's injured. Luke Shaw, he's getting taped up, taking medication before kickoff, and every second minute he's getting strapped up by the physios.
Selfish,
Take a day off. Take a day
It's
off.
selfish.
It's to get because
Yeah, a little bit.
Luke Shaw is at his best when he's fit. Why are we playing a half-hearted Luke Shaw? And it's like I was saying on my channel and Spicer's channel, it's easy with the injury that Maguire has. It's very easy to pass a fitness test. You go on your treadmill, you put your muscles under load, you do all this sort of stuff. Piece of piss. But once you get in a game situation when you're doing different turns and you have to accelerate in different directions, that's when you're going to start feeling your injuries. And Maguire should have said from the first 30 seconds, nah, I can't do this. Take me off. He should have stood up for the team, for the club, for the manager. And go, listen, I've done what I could. It's not working out. I'm getting rinsed. Take me off. And he didn't want to do that. So
do you know what? You just reminded me of something, right? I remember when I was full time. You know when you were injured, I done my medial ligaments, right, on both knees, and I remember coming back into training and the coach is saying, just straight lines. You can only run in straight lines. That was it. You know, I wasn't ready to do any turning. I was literally straight 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 jogs, and then walk back, do it all again, straight lines. That was it. And for me, it was worrying when he kicked the ball out. I was just like, okay, listen, mate, he's done. I genuinely thought he was kicking the ball out to sit down and be like, I can't continue. Let's dissect the game. Okay, listen. Greenwood scores, whatever. You know, shoot and hope. Greenwood's always
good
doing
goal.
That.
You got to give him credit. It was a good goal.
Yeah, but do you know? think that we
good goal? Don't knock it down. Like, I mean, it's like whatever. Good goal.
No. Like, so when I say that, I mean it's a good goal. It is, but we know we can do that, Steve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but look, just because you know he can do it, like that's what I hate. It's like, oh, that's what he does. Give the guy credit. It's not that easy. Oh, I'm just going to go score a goal now. Yep, there you go. I scored a goal.
No.
Look, Maguire was supposed to do his job here and put his hand up and say, I'm not fit to be a centre-back. But, you know, Greenwood come in, scored a goal. Give the guy credit. That was a good fucking goal. That was a nice goal, man.
What happens after the goal, though? What happens after the goal?
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Because, like, I felt like when I say, okay, we does that, maybe, okay, you're right, Steve. I'll take that back. You're right. That's a good goal. What happens after that? I think we rest on our morals. I think we think, right, the front three are going to get the ball. Freestyle football, whatever you want to call it. Hold tight, Saeed. I knew he was getting it tight at the weekend. But did we think that was always going to be the case? Because nothing was happening in the midfield, really. Pogba was not at it before Borce says it. I'll say it.
You know what? Like, to be honest, if it wasn't for our, it's the same broken record every single week. If it wasn't for our errors, if you really look at their goals, they probably don't score them. Yes, I know they had a few other chances, but besides the one that De Gea put on the post of Tielemans, they really didn't. To be honest, they didn't really look like they were threatening. But they, like you said, Bob's at the start, the goal didn't phase them. They didn't crumble and say, we copped the goal.
Exactly.
They got Ronaldo. They got all these players. No, look, boys, Leicester are going into this game. Yeah, even though everyone wants to win, on paper, you don't look at these games and be like, oh yeah, they're must wins. Yeah, it's like trying to get a result. They're always the underdogs, no matter how bad or poor form United is. United would probably go into every game as like the favorite. Maybe not with the big four teams or whatever, but when you're versing the lesser teams, they're always going to be the underdog. So when you play your Southamptons and all that, they're going to try grind out a point. And then, but the difference is, these other teams that we play, especially Leicester, all we needed to do was a mistake and they scored. How many shots did they take? 6 shots, four on target, 4 goals. So this is the thing, bro. Like, this is the thing. They didn't panic. Brendan Rodgers, even though he's a bottle job, he kept the team calm. Yeah, like, you get me. You gotta throw something there.
You gotta throw something at the guy. You threw the kitchen sink at him. That didn't work. Let's throw a bottle job at him. See what happens. Yeah, see if it phases him. Hopefully he's listening. You look at our team, and it's like, oh yeah, we get the first goal, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna walk over these guys. It's gonna be a walk in the park now. These players need to step it up. Yeah, the manager, I think, like I said, Ned Stark settings for him now.
You're
Listen,
not helping yourself. But at the same time, when I look at these players and bro, I just like it just baffles me, bro. What 300K a week for you? You want 250? Maguire wants 300K a week, but you can't pass a ball. And it's and I'm not even talking about tactics. Like forget about the
it's just
tactics.
effort,
If
isn't
there
it?
is tactics, it's just at least give me something. Make a run.
You know,
Like
yeah.
a bit of movement. Drums, even like everyone wants to criticize Ronaldo. Yes, he's not getting the service, but there was one time where Bruno took a shot and he went over. If Ronaldo just does a little bit work to get on side, Bruno slips him through his 1-on-1.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that.
So that guys, that okay. Now that question to that, and I wanna go into the Arsenal game because I'm respectful of the time. I know Steve, KG, and Borce it's morning there, but I want to go to ask him. But see that though, do you think they're just what's the word I'm looking for? Lazy, not lazy, just going through the motions because I think with a disciplinarian or a stricter coach or a coach with more zest and more authority aura about them.
More clout, maybe.
Yeah. Like I don't think this kind of football goes on because we talk about going back now. We talk about Wenger, Fergie. You can even talk about Lippi. Old school managers, Capello and stuff. Like some of these players used to say like you'd be scared to lose possession or you'd be scared not to try. Do you know what I mean? Effort, And it's like that when you sit there with Bruno took the shot, it's like Ronaldo just get on side. Like it's your job to stay on side. Do you get what I'm saying?
He plays him through and he's clear. No one was around him because everyone's pushed up. But I can't remember who it was. Not Sionchu, one of the other defenders.
Evans.
It was just step. They were because they were so far wide, and Sionchu and it was Evans. They were pushed up in front of Ronaldo. If Ronaldo just steps onside, Bruno slips you the ball, and you're 1-on-1. And that could have been. I think that could have been 2-1 to us.
Yeah. And you know, but then. There's no. Just the last thing to double check that because I want Steve's and Prime's as a rival fan to conclude on the Man United game. Do you know what gets me, guys? Is that if I just can't help thinking when Andy Cole or Dwight York used to be offside, you'd hear Roy Keane.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Get on side. Do you know what I mean? And like. But Roy Keane wouldn't. The thing about Roy Keane wouldn't give him the ball. He'd be like, "You're effing offside. Get on side. Do your job."
Yeah.
And we didn't have that. We didn't
have that. We've seen Harry Kane's goal on the weekend, right? He was offside. He's seen that. Can't remember. I'm not sure if it was Ndombele or Son that made that pass. But as soon as he got a touch on that ball, he quickly got himself onside. He made that angle run, got himself a goal. And I don't know what Ronaldo's issue is. If he's got I don't know if he demands the ball to me every single time, pass to me, and when he doesn't, then he throws his toys at the pram. That's what it is all the time. And it's like if you put Cavani in that situation, right? Cavani's the type of player makes a run here. All right, I didn't get the ball. I'll make another run. Here, I'll make another run. Find me, like you were saying the other day, and I think a day. Can't remember. I think Rio mentioned it again on his podcast about Van Persie, where Van Persie was making all these runs.
It was me. I said it to you. Yeah.
And Fergie was in the change room and pausing every time Van Persie was making the run. He said, "Get the ball to him." He was telling Scholes, "If you can't get the ball to him, whoever all the other players, there's someone else that will. He's going to win. He's going to win you the league. Get the ball to him." And this is what these players are not doing with Ronaldo. I get his frustration, but Ronaldo needs to help himself with just a little bit of movement. We're not asking you to press. We're not asking you to chase down players to drop into midfield and try win balls and create play. You're here to score goals now. Yeah, you're our number 9. So forget about the link up play. Just get on side, make your little runs. You might not get it the first time, or the second, but the third time is the one where you probably win the game for us. And that's the difference between him and Cavani. But then again, you drop Ronaldo, fans go nuts. You bench Ronaldo, you start him, and why?
Listen, it's a poisonous challenge.
It is.
Segueing onto another striker who literally was a possessed man when he came on, Lacazette, for the old Arsenal. Steve, I mean, I saw I saw your
I saw my Insta post.
Do
Mhm.
you want to lead us into this game? I mean, what was
I'll lead you into this joke. Yeah, it's not a game. It was an absolute joke. Look, from the get-go, I was worried. Once I saw the formation, I don't know if you saw my Insta post, I was like, great, good stuff, wonderful. We're going to bog down the midfield. We're playing a 4-1-4-1 at home to Crystal Palace.
Is that worrying, Steve? Is that worrying?
Yes, it is. It is, because if you're going to sit there and play a 4-1-4-1 at home to Crystal Palace, you're playing soft football. You're trying to bog down the midfield. Are you worried about their midfield? They play a 4-3-3. Okay, today they didn't play a 4-3-3. Where's your confidence? They're not playing. Look, everyone's making out like Leicester are playing really well. Palace are playing that really well. Let me just tell you one thing, and the way I see it, Palace look good in that game because we let them look good. Leicester look good in that game because you let them look good. We were that shit that they look good. And to be perfectly honest, I could see it from the get-go. We didn't look like we were going to score a goal. Arsenal did not look like they were going to score in this game. They didn't. And that goal, that freak goal from Aubameyang, it's a goal. Yes, it's great. It was a freak goal. Okay? Give him credit. He was in the right position. Pepe took a shot, whatever. But in that game, no urgency. In that game, no devotion. I had Thomas Partey. He was getting raped in that game. He was getting manhandled in that game. It was an absolute joke, mate. And my captain Fantastic, who's supposed to be a captain.
Who's that? A boomerang?
Yeah, a boomerang. Yeah, he doesn't know what it is to be a captain. And I've said it on my review. He shouldn't be captain. You just said it about Roy Keane, right? And this is the problem that Arsenal and United both have. Our issue is we don't have a spine. Now, look, let's say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't the right coach, right? Okay, so you got problems there. And we got the same problem with Arteta. Spades. They're both not the right guys. But on the pitch, you need a captain in there that puts fear in you. You need a captain in there that doesn't play for 90 minutes, plays for 110. So this is a guy that when he says jump, you say how high and for how long. Problem is, if Aubameyang says jump, they're going to look at him and walk away. Because he doesn't command respect. In that game, there was no leadership on the field. And you could see once we conceded that goal, scared shitless football. Scared shitless all the way through. Lacazette comes in. And what happened? You see the energy?
Do you think it was energy, or do you think it was just frustration that he wasn't playing?
Oh, it was both. It was a bit of both.
He looked like, I don't know what the rest of the guys feel. He looked like he had a massive point to prove, but he was annoyed that he had to prove a point. You know, I just don't know why he never went two up front at home. Guys, what do you guys think? Did anyone else see the game? I don't know why you never went two up front. I mean, look, Palace were always going to try and press, get physical, get in your faces.
He could have played a 4-4-2 in this game. He could have played a 4-4-2 in this game if he wanted to. He had the players.
If you did play the 4-4-2, I think you would have combated them.
Yeah.
If I'm right, because they had Mihailovic, Gallagher, Conor Gallagher, who's having a great season. If we go by what Prime says in group chat, he's probably world class.
Wow.
Are we not?
He's had a great.
That's not what I said, but okay.
I'm joking.
I don't like this. He's world class.
But there was Conor Gallagher, MacArthur, and Mihailovic, and listen, they were pressing you guys. You know what I mean? It was Pepper in there, and I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't surprised you were getting beat. You know?
No,
you know what it was? It was that. I reckon it was that. I think Arsenal, because I was kind of watching it while I was on Spice's on stream, and I was looking at this game, and I'm like, it's all Arsenal. They got the early goal, and you're like, here we go. More's coming. I think once that tackle went in on Saka, which should have been a red, that changed it a little bit. I think they instead of playing with a bit of tactics or with the plan that they came into this game, it was all about, no worries, you want to crunch our players, we're gonna try get you back. But what happened was Crystal Palace wasn't having that, and they became even more physical after that. And then it looked like Arsenal was a little bit on the back foot, and they just couldn't get. Sometimes it just looked like they couldn't get out of their half, or even when they were in Palace's half, there was a lack of ideas until the Martinelli and Lacazette came on.
Exactly.
And one thing you got to give Arsenal credit
with their players, which we'd never say it with United. Last 10 minutes, they need a goal. They threw everything at it.
Yeah.
Every throw in, it was as quick as you can. Give me the ball, like free kicks, corners.
The urgency was
United,
there.
we muck around. We muck
That's
around.
it, KG. That's the word, the
Yeah,
urgency.
No urgency, 100%. And I'm looking at this game. I'm like, Arsenal are going to get one. And if Tierney didn't hit the crossbar at the end,
Yeah.
They win it.
Or if-
They win it. Yeah.
they win it because you can just see it coming. Yeah. And then, of course, you got to get with that last goal, all urgency. You got to give credit to, I know you got to rinse Ben White for the second goal, but you got to give him credit for when Arsenal scored because he read it. The ball's up in the air. He's looked at the two defenders. He's like, this ball's coming back to me. He drops out. He takes that shot. And, you got to take your chances.
Ricochet.
Keeper saves it and it gets to Lacazette. And that's one thing that we don't see at United. But at least Arsenal, if you want to take any positives out of this game, I know you're what position they're in. I know it's dropped points again, Brighton. And we said it. If they beat, it's all good to beat Spurs. But then if you don't back it up with wins, it's kind of pointless, right? Regardless of that,
I think you still got to give credit to Chelsea, to Crystal Palace. Board.
Yeah, of course. No, 100%. I'm just saying that the last 10 minutes, if Arsenal can just keep that momentum for majority of the game, they win these games. These games that they're meant to be winning, they win. 100%. You got to give credit to Palace on this one.
Yeah.
It was a bit disappointing to see Vieira drop to his knees, and he's like, again, like that.
You felt for him, right?
Yeah, I felt for him.
I felt for him.
No, I didn't feel for him. No, fuck that. You see that move on Saka? That's exactly what I've been telling the boys to do. Take out the threat. That's what you do. That was perfect.
Yeah, Vieira's like, hey,
take him out.
Take him out.
Yeah, but that's where is that killer instinct? Like it's not, sorry, maybe the better choice of words, but I'm just going to say that. Where is that killer instinct when it comes to managers nowadays? I've got Mikel Arteta, and I keep saying it, we keep playing soft cop football.
Yeah.
You need to get in, you got to get into peak places. And our problem at Arsenal is once it gets physical, and now everyone knows it. Once they start pressing on us, we're in trouble. You know what I mean? Once they start pushing us, getting a bit argy-bargy, you know what I mean? You're in trouble. And if everyone knows that in the league, United, your Chelsea's, your Liverpool, what's going to happen? They'll just do the same thing. It works. Wouldn't you guys agree?
That is what Arsenal is now. Because someone on Twitter mentioned that I can't remember the name. But some Arsenal fan mentioned that the media are repeating the same stuff about Arsenal having a soft underbelly or being weak or whatever. Find a new narrative.
But we do.
Yeah, exactly. I replied saying, it's not. It might be a stereotype, but it's because it's true. That's exactly what Arsenal's been for almost a decade now. Like if you put pressure on them, or if you give them a bit of fight, they won't fight you back.
Yeah, and the thing is with that, the way you work around that, if the other team's being more physical, forget the take-ons, 1-2 passes, one touch football. They did it again. You did it against Spurs. Do the same thing. There's no contact. You don't get yourselves into tackles, in challenges, and you get them running. You get them tired. The spaces open up. That's what.
Is that not in-game management?
But you say the.
Yeah.
You need a player to be like, listen.
Yeah. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. If you're getting bullied off the ball, and you're like, okay, that we're getting out-muscled, then forget the challenges, forget the duels, move the ball around.
But you said against Spurs. In that second half, I think maybe in the last. Was it half an hour or whatever? Spurs had chances to get back into the game.
They pushed back in. Yeah. The game changed because when they came out the second half, it was a different Spurs that came out.
Yeah. I think Spurs had a chance to make it 3-2. And if they'd taken that, they could have ended the game 3-3. And I remember I said that, and Arsenal fans were still on the high of the whole game and stuff. And I was like, against a better side, something like that would have happened. And I know the opposite happened against Crystal Palace, where they were ahead and you guys equalized. But if Arsenal are winning 2-1, are we going to sit here and say Crystal Palace would not have came back into the game? If this was, like...
That's a good question, Prime. That's a good question.
That's exactly what Arsenal are right now.
Yeah. Steve, I'll let you come in there. KG, go KG. Sorry, we've not heard from you. Go.
No, I was just gonna say, like with Crystal Palace, I think maybe they're a little bit maybe underestimated, because if you look at how they've been playing in their results, other than Chelsea and Liverpool, they're the only two games that they've lost. They lost convincingly, but they beat Tottenham, and they've picked up draws against Brentford, who arguably have been one of the better teams that have come up from the bottom division, and they've picked up draws elsewhere. Like, so they're not a team to just consider you've taken the 3 points against. And I think from a Arsenal and Arteta perspective, you guys are building towards something, right? So it was a slow start to the season, and you're getting there. You're just not there yet. I think it looks more promising for Arsenal than it does for United at the moment. So and
what makes you say that, KG?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that.
I just think that now that the players are coming back, and that from where we were at the start of the season, like right off those 3 results, right? But if you look at what they're trying to do, I don't think it's perfect, and just my opinion, but I don't think Arteta's the right guy for you guys either. But in saying that, I think you have a squad who might. Who is buying in, or who's bought in a lot more in terms of what they can do and how they can be successful, more than the superstars that are at United, who are just not sorry, I don't want to say just there for the paycheck, but they're there getting a paycheck, and whether they perform or not, it's still going to be the same result. Whereas with Arsenal, they're young, they're hungry. There is some sort of philosophy around buying the younger players and building towards something for the future. And I think the goals for Arsenal and United are slightly different in terms of what they want to achieve this season. And I think you guys are a lot closer to yours than we are to ours.
So in saying that, then, right? Because I know, Steve, you disagree, Steve, and I'll get you to conclude on the Arsenal in a minute. Prime, you made a good few points there about Arsenal and stuff, right? From what KG just said there, okay. As a neutral, not a rival fan, just a neutral. Okay. Do you think it's worrying times for Arsenal, given the last game, with the way Palace came to Emirates? I won't say dominated. I would say they came with a game plan, and it nearly was executed. Is that worrying? And is it also worrying of that where Palace are in the league, that they're doing that at the Emirates?
It depends on what you do. In terms of work, like my viewpoint of how I view Arsenal is very different from most Arsenal fans, at least the ones I know personally.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
I view them as a mid. I view them as a mid-table.
Here we go.
I view them. Them as a okay.
Here we go. I'm going to get a Chelsea fan who's been watching Chelsea for about 2 months tell me Arsenal's a mid-table team. Here we go.
Rattled. Prime is rattled.
Seriously, Arsenal's a mid-table team. Here we go.
Just say Henry. Mention Henry.
I view them as a
Henry can't get into this
mid-table team.
Henry can't get into the Palace
squad.
Me
personally, my personal expectations of them, I see nothing wrong with this and how they started the season. However, with the big lofty standards that they hold all of these amazing players, apparently, should they be worried? Yes. Like this, whatever project or build or process they are trying to do, I've been saying since he's got the job, Arteta is not good enough. But as of right now, they're at a point where there's no point sacking him. Let's see how it's going to play out, at least until the end of the season.
Okay.
Because they've backed him with money, so they're assuming something will happen.
Yeah,
so let's see what's going to happen. Because United fans are in disarray. Maybe United won't get top 4, so there's a space open there, maybe. Or at least finish 5th or 6th in the league. You don't have European football as well.
You're outnumbered.
So I don't know. Maybe that's it.
I think Kevin made a good point, because Arsenal, I know you're only like maybe 2 points away from European positions, whether it's conference or Europa.
It's a big 2 points for Borce.
Borce, you're right, but like, listen to this, right? I know what you're saying. European football's just around the corner.
You look at the goals. We're 5 points behind, or whatever, behind Chelsea. We'll probably be 1 point behind Liverpool after Monday morning or Monday night for you guys. So we'll catch them.
What year? Definitely not
Monday
next
morning.
week.
What's that? What day? What's that? The 1st of November or whatever it is. I don't know, the 20 what, something like that. That's when we'll be
McTominay and Fred at centre backs this weekend.
McFred will be managers, yeah.
Back five.
What was I saying? But yeah, look, I think Kevin's right. Their goals, Arsenal goals, is let's get at least Europa League this season and then push on onto the next, whether it's with Arteta or not. Whether United, it's about we need to win. We need to win a trophy this season, which is a whole other story there.
But both teams, look, both teams, in my opinion, right now are in trouble. And one of your questions down low, one of the boys put a comment out and said, "Is Lokonga actually that good?"
To answer it. Yeah, is that okay for you to answer it, Steve?
Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. Lokonga is actually that good. Mm-hmm. He's actually a really good player. If you watch him, he's very aware. He knows his job, and he puts in the shift. The problem is, I could get Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe into the squad, and Arteta could make them look bad. But anyway, I'm telling you, he's got no idea. The problem I have is, and I know where you're coming from, Borce, we're trying to get to Europa League and blah, blah, blah. That's great. My problem is what's the point of going to Europa League? Much more nice to say, what's the point of Arsenal being in the Champions League if we don't even know our style of play? We can't go into Europa like this. We can't go into Champions League like this. We need to go into Champions League, Europa League with a squad that knows its job, a formation that we know we can play, and we might adapt to a team here and there, but not keep chopping and changing because we don't know what we're doing. This guy is making a cake. He's got a whole bunch of ingredients. He doesn't know how to put them in. He doesn't know how much of what. And at the moment, it don't taste good. Brighton was a joke. Brighton, I picked the damn formation. This guy is not talking to his squad, and he's not making them aware of the kind of football other teams are playing. We went out there and played against Crystal Palace, and the players looked like they had no clue, much like against Brighton. The problem with Arsenal at the moment is that we don't have an identity, and it's the same thing with United. A backbone and identity is missing. And both teams, if you're in Champions League now, if you guys were doing well in Champions League, if you guys go into Champions League and get into the semis, I wouldn't back you guys to get any further. And that's only because our problem at the moment with both clubs is we got manager problems, we got captaincy problems. You got problems on the pitch, and you got problems on the sideline. We got problems on the pitch, we got problems on the sideline. These two problems are the biggest problems. Your captains aren't right, our captains aren't right, our managers aren't right. And to be honest, at the moment, I don't see us competing or being able to compete with the bigger clubs in the Premier League. And it won't be for a while. Not until our owners and your owners start taking their respective clubs seriously.
Yeah.
Interesting questions. And this applies for both clubs, by the way. If your managers are so bad or so terrible, whatever it is, then some of these players that you guys, in terms of your fan base, don't rate. So Xhaka, McTominay, Pogba, etc., that are playing bad or you guys don't rate. Is it fair to judge them under a bad manager?
Yes.
Why? Yeah, somewhat.
Because it's not so much that like I was saying before, it's not so much because they're not understanding a philosophy or a tactic. It's your individual performance. If Fred can't, if Wan-Bissaka's out on the wing, and he's the only player, there's no pressure on you, and Fred passes the ball out. It's not the manager, it's you, bro. Yes, it's the manager's problem. It's the manager's fault for picking him. Yeah, I'll give him that. But then there's so many errors that these players make. It's just unbelievable, bro. And it's like you could. Is it down to the manager? Maybe are they down tooling? If they're down tooling, that comes to the player. Then at least play for the badge, for the club, and for the fans. At least bare minimum, do your basics right. Bare minimum.
And why I asked, can I just say why I asked that is because with Chelsea under Lampard, there's a lot of these players I just thought were terrible and not good enough. Christensen and Rudiger were performing like two of the worst centre backs in the Premier League, and right now Chelsea fans will say on form they're two of the best in the world. So and that's but that's also a manager thing, isn't it? Because Tuchel is one of the best managers in the world, and he's improved them.
But he's held them accountable as well. He's held them accountable, and he's held other players accountable, and that's probably what the two managers for our respective clubs don't do. They don't hold the players accountable. So if they put in a bad shift, they're not benched for the next game. They not automatically get picked, but they're straight
almost
back into the lineup.
Start.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Like that's where like for example, the Wan-Bissaka's had a couple of bad games. Then while Dalot is probably not as good as him, you've got a squad, you've got to use it, and I think that's where we struggle. And I love what Tuchel's done with Chelsea, because he's given players who were good Premier League or great Premier League players who fell out of favor with Lampard. He's given them another shot, and they've proven it. And I think that's credit to him as a manager for being able to do that.
But then, guys, okay. Just to conclude on that, because I want to quickly, I know Spice needs to go, so Spice, do you want to just plug your channel very quickly?
Guys, as always, remember to subscribe to Red United TV, and of course, subscribe to this channel as well before I go.
We've got a new signing on his channel too. New signing.
We got a new signing, a marquee signing, our new marquee signing.
When did was KG? Is KG coming to Red United TV? Go on yourself, KG. Boy. Go on yourself, KG.
No, he signed Pogba to the channel. Borce is rocking up.
Oh, Borce will absolutely love that.
What you sign Pogba for? Is he going to be bringing you drinks and shit?
No, you know what's so funny?
But he won't be doing it in a very fast manner. He'll be taking his time with it,
Borce will bring him drinks. He'll be like, "No, what, Pogba? I'm a big fan. Like, I love you so much. I chat shit about you, but I'm a big fan. I love you, man. You want anything?
No.
Guys, take care.
Spice, enjoy your beauty sleep.
I shall.
So guys, we're just going to quickly touch on two things. I think it's a shame when they played, because I feel like everyone's forgot about their football match. Brentford and Chelsea. I just want to quickly touch on
a tough game.
Yeah, I want to touch on a few things. Prime brought up something. It's world class. I know we send voice notes to each other. World class. I mean, I feel like the new generation. Prime, this is not towards you. This is just me in general. I feel the new generation use that phrase quite a lot, because I sound like an old man here. I sound like Prime's old brother here. But I just remember when I watched football. If we're going by that, I think there was a lot of world class players when we watched football. And I'm going back as Roy Mackay, Hernan Crespo, Gabriel Batistuta. I'm not even touching the sides. Do you know what I mean? So when we talk about world class, what's the definition of world class? Because Edouard Mendy, in his right, is doing not bad. He's also touching on the hoodoo of black goalkeepers, that they're actually not bad. So I'm always going to wave that flag. But seriously, guys, from a goalkeeper's point of view, Chelsea, we all know Chelsea have been unfortunate with a keeper. What was it, 70, 80 million or whatever it was? The ABCD guy, whatever his name is. Couple of I can't say no disrespect, I just can't pronounce his name. What is it with Mendy, guys? Is he a really good goalkeeper, or is he just having a nice moment?
I think we can all agree that he's a good goalkeeper. I think anyone that says Mendy's not a good goalkeeper's got to got to get your eyes checked. World class, I think, and I'm just going to touch on that. World class, that term is being used very loosely now. Now, I'm not saying he's not a good keeper. I'm not saying he won't be a great keeper. I'm not saying he won't be a world-class keeper. But I think for you to be a world-class keeper, when I hear world-class, when it comes to keepers, I say Schmeichel. But Schmeichel wasn't world-class in 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
He was it took him. Oliver Kahn, world-class, wasn't 2 or 3 seasons. So he's on his way. He just needs to continue in this manner, and he can be. In his present form, I think any team in the world would like to have him. I mean, maybe not Liverpool. I mean, De Gea is also doing very well. You've got to give that guy credit in that game against Leicester.
He kept the score down. He kept the score down.
Yeah. So, yeah.
He's the best player. He's the best keeper in the world at the moment.
He's just in the wrong team at the moment.
Yeah, but that was the question I posed. I'm not saying he's a world-class player, because based on my metric, you need longevity. But on form, and by the way, I've got like stats and everything to back up what he's been doing since like February. I've got things that like the guy's been breaking records, and that's why I want to bring it up, because this guy was not on the Ballon d'Or list, the top 30, and no one batted an eyelid. You know, he won the
goalkeepers, mate, they deserve it.
but like
Forget the keepers.
no, but like he should have been on it. He won UEFA Goalkeeper of the Year. He's up for the Yashin Award. Like this guy has been one of the best players in the world in general this calendar year. And I think he should be recognized and appreciated for it. I'm not saying he's a world-class player.
No,
not yet anyway. People should respect him, and he doesn't get that respect. Like I've seen people
watch it, let him land.
I see people on other channels or online, whatever, saying that he's just good, but he's not like great, or he's not his form isn't world class or anything. People underrating what he's doing, or people saying, "Oh, he's not Alisson. Alisson's clear." Like that's not the discussion we're having. It's just like respecting what he's done, and I understand
based on his individual performances. Don't compare him. And
I understand like. You're saying world class is a bit, because what's in the past and the players you mentioned who don't even touch the greats. I understand that. And I know Schmeichel, again, longevity, he had I'm not even going to say a world class career. He's a legend.
He had a great career.
Players like Oliver Kahn, legend. But Mendy obviously doesn't have that as of yet. Maybe he will. But based on right now, but based off right now, his form, not his career, but his form, is him being world class. Because again, the same thing when people say Salah right now is the best player in the world. Well, he's not the best player in the world in his career because he doesn't touch Messi or Ronaldo. But based off form, he is.
See the way you've just done that, Prime. Yeah, that's the Prime I want on this show every week.
You see, I like that. That's a good breakdown. That's a very good breakdown. And you're right. In present form, I agree.
Yeah, and I think there's great players and there's legendary players and then there's world class players, and I think that Mendy will be a world class player, and I think if he continues his form, he's on the depending on longevity. A
Prime spot on there. He's in world class form. 100%.
Correct.
That's Prime. That's what I want. That's what I want. When you say something, dissect it like that, then I'm like, okay, cool, because that's the Prime I want to watch and listen to. Okay, but it's still not world class. But
are you saying I should have done that? Hold on.
That's filthy.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up, Prime.
Is this you saying I should have done that with Henry? Because I've got more stats about Henry.
No. You can have all the stats up your ass on Henry. You can have them. They can be coming out your nose. It don't matter.
I'm joking.
That can come out the whole Prime. It still don't matter. But guys, Prime said something there. Mendy wasn't on the 30-man shortlist for the ball. Does anyone really give a damn about this 30-man shortlist?
No.
Like, Mason Mount was on it, right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Was Paul Pogba on it?
Listen, you can be on it, but you're not going to win it. We all know it's the most crooked, biased.
It's corrupt.
Yeah, there you go. It's corrupt.
You know how
he's the money. Yes.
You know how they what do you call it? How do I put it? You know, the way they win it, they go by the criteria. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. It's,
the criteria they have to meet.
Do you know, like, we look at it and we're like, best player, whether it's goals, trophies, individual accolades. But I think, bro, it's not just that. They look at that, yes. They look at how they're going in international, with the international teams. So now, when it comes to Mendy, I'm not sure how in the international squads how he's performing.
Yeah, because is it Mali or Senegal?
That's what I'm saying.
Senegal was in.
Yeah, so you lose. He loses points or whatever to get into that list because of that. And do you know what the last one is? FIFA Fair Play. FIFA Fair. They look at that too.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why Modric won it. Makes sense why Modric won a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at the criteria, like what? Bro, the best
player criteria, man.
But you're getting all these bullshit like stats in, like, some of these players might not play that international. Like Van Dijk doesn't play the international tournaments because he might be injured or whatnot.
Yeah.
So he misses out. So it's not really fair on the rest of his kind of the season or the calendar year. But it's all corrupt. We know who's going to get it. Ronaldo's going to get it because he got most goals in goals.
Yeah. So and then Man United are going to be so shameless.
Would you guys agree that it's more about marketing?
Get the
Yeah,
statue.
it's more
Get the
about marketing.
statue.
Yeah, marketing.
because look, if you think about
Mendy's
it,
not marketable because he's a goalkeeper, and who's
Well,
going to buy a
no,
goalkeeper kit? Is it that?
No, it's not. Well, it's not that. It's just he's not like.
it is. It
I
is.
don't-
If you
it-
think
well,
about
I think
it,
it is, man. I think
no,
Mendy.
But goalkeepers are marketable. Like David De Gea.
are they? Are
Not
they,
really,
bro?
bro. Not really. Look, let's be honest. Everyone
Who?
likes strikers and
Who?
midfielders.
Who?
Even defenders
Yeah,
are hard
but
to sell.
I think they should
goalkeepers
have
can be super. Donnarumma is a superstar. David De Gea is a superstar. Oblak is a superstar. Mendy isn't in terms of how he's viewed.
How many goalkeeper jerseys you own?
Exactly. That's
I don't
exactly
buy
my point,
jerseys.
dude.
I don't buy jerseys in general. So
Fall back.
Yeah,
Right,
he's
you said
he's roaming out. That's
Oblak.
why roaming out.
Who was the first one you said? You said Donnarumma.
yeah,
It was only 2 years ago. Donnarumma was on the bench for. Was he not on the bench a few years ago for AC Milan?
And he left on a free
No.
as well.
And he left on a free. So like he's not.
he left on a free.
He left on a break because he wanted out. Donnarumma wanted out of
Exactly.
Milan a
Yeah.
long time ago, so he
Messi
fell out
left on
with
free.
Milan.
But my
Messi left
point
on
is that marketing wise, you're not gonna go to the Chelsea shop and buy Mendy on your back of your
Yeah.
shirt. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Unless
You're more
you're a
think
likely
that's-
gonna.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not marketable, and it's not.
No.
If you look at the people that win it, everyone said Modric, but that was fair play ball. But I think that was just like a little gesture. When
Just
the
because
bus
it's
driver-
constantly being the same players. Let's throw someone in the mix and then go
yeah.
back to normal.
exactly.
Even defenders. Last defender was Cannavaro, I think.
Cannavaro, and what a defender he was.
Yeah,
you
like-
know what I mean?
And I think
everyone
that
was
was
so
the year they won the
shocked that
World
he
Cup
got
as
it.
well, right?
Yeah, but that's it because he won the World Cup. He
Yeah.
was marketable.
Yeah.
Do you know? And he played for Real Madrid. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
You got to look at the
That's
clubs
what
that
it is.
these players are playing at. You know,
It's
the
pathetic, but
company
it's
players are
pathetic. But it's pathetic. The award is supposed to be for the best performing player, and in actual fact, it's the best performing player that we can market and use to sell more merch and to sell the game.
That's why Jorginho won't win it, despite
And,
winning
yeah.
That's why
the Champions
He
League.
won't. Listen,
yeah.
he won't win it. But do you know what? And we need to remember, like, it's also preference as well, guys. Let's not, it's preference on and
Should
marketing. Like,
There should be
unfortunately,
another award. There should be another Ballon d'Or, maybe for goalkeepers, because
I
they
think they
do
should.
need to be recognized.
well,
Because-
there's a Yashin award.
Yeah, but
yeah,
is that
but
is that
that's
the same
just.
level?
I mean,
That's
it's
not the same
same,
level.
is it?
Like,
But
give them
people
the
aren't. It's
same-
not in the same light. You know what I mean? It's not
give them
taken in the
same
same
little
light.
thing
It's sitting in the
you got
corner.
Jordan,
You know.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. The marketable thing is a good point. Like, KG was gonna get a United goalkeeper jersey, but with Ronaldo on the back. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I just want to own everything. I just wanted number 7 on
with Ronaldo
everything.
on the back. So don't worry what kit it is. It's get the player that's marketable. But yeah, 100% right. But at the end of the day, Dean Henderson is probably the best in the world at the moment, and he's not even getting a sniff. It's unbelievable. Just segueing through.
On that note, the final segment. I know we've run over an hour, so we'll be very quick. The final segment is: does Mo Salah have a late campaign
No.
bid for the Ballon
No.
d'Or?
No.
No
Hasn't
trophies.
done enough. Hasn't done
No
enough.
trophies, international tournaments. I don't
gotta
know
look
how
at
he's
the
moving
criteria.
for Egypt. Maybe next season, if he keeps his form up, maybe next season, because they do have the African Cup of Nations. So
Yeah.
if Egypt go on to win it and he performs, look, if it was just about the individual player, then yes, 100% he has to be in that conversation. There's no doubt. But he hasn't won trophies. You didn't even win Golden Boot last season or assist. It was Harry Kane. And I'm not taking this away from Mo Salah.
No, I
yeah,
get what you're
because-
saying. I get what you're saying.
And
But
then the whole
it's
bullshit
true,
about
though.
FIFA Fair Play, which he'll probably get points for FIFA Fair Play. He's only got 3 red cards and 3 yellows in his career or
Has he
something.
not
That's
dived
for taking
this
off his
season?
shirt. Hey,
Has he not dived?
Not enough.
Dived in the last count of 12
not
months.
enough.
No,
No, not enough. Not enough. He hasn't been making a proper effort to dive. You know. We're gonna have a chat to him about that.
Have a word. Have a word.
But,
Yeah, got it. Oh, yeah. Well, I've got it down.
It could be
I've got it scheduled in a meeting. Me and Mo are going to sit down and we're going to discuss this. And
No, no.
unacceptable behaviour.
It's disappointing the way they do. Like, I heard it yesterday. Like, I couldn't believe that's how they judge who wins it or not. But he definitely is in the conversation. Whether he's going to be in there to win it, I don't think so. I mean, you never know. They could give it marketing. I don't know if he's not that marketable, but you never know.
Somewhat.
Yeah, I think he is. Do you know why? Because I think the Premier League are going to start PRing him as
Yeah, but FIFA,
best
it's the
African to
FIFA Ballon
play.
d'Or. You got to realize it's the FIFA Ballon d'Or, and FIFA, they love international.
Yeah, I
Anything
know,
international
but
football, and they'll look at that. Messi
FIFA
won
might just give him it
Messi
though,
won
just to say they're not racist. They might just be, listen, we'll let an African win, just to show we're not racist. You never know. I'm telling you, like,
yeah.
it could be the case.
The reverse
Yeah.
racism. The reverse.
Yeah, reverse.
Yeah,
Positive discrimination. Positive discrimination. Seriously.
it's all love.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, the great Bob Marley said the same thing. Gentlemen, we have came to the end. Just before we go, any other business? Did anyone see any other things in football this weekend that they wanted to quickly touch on? KG, I know you're here. Is there anything you saw at the football at the weekend that you thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe that
Newcastle.
happened?
Newcastle
The
had that.
Newcastle thing.
The Newcastle start to the match and just the Wolves comeback. That was quite.
That was insane, right? Insane.
Yeah, it was just blink and you miss it type stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know why I felt for Ruben Neves a little bit, and he ended up scoring the winner. It was deflection, but just
Massive deflection, man. He celebrated that like he meant it, man.
Yeah, but just to see how happy they were and how the Wolves plays came together at the end of that game, I just felt maybe it was the end to a bit of frustration for the start of the season. They finally got a result, and they dug it out. So yeah, just wanted to call that
Never
one
should
out.
be playing for us, KG, eh?
100%.
Mate, I'll take. Yeah, there's a list I've got. I'll send it to you.
But quick mention, we have to quickly mention the incident that happened at the Newcastle game with the fan that had a cardiac arrest.
Listen, that was insane. That was insane. And do you know what? Botchik, sorry, carry on, Botchik.
No, go on, Bobs, go on. I just thought I would throw it in there.
Do you know what? I was watching the game and I was thinking what's going on, and like it's crazy, isn't it? All in that emotion. There's a football match going on, 50,000 plus people, and that happens. And just the way everyone stops to acknowledge, you saw Dyer running over to the bench like
Regulon,
like there's someone that needing help. You saw Regulon stop the referee. And
that's humanity, man. That's
the word I was looking for. It was just like wow, and like you think to yourself, Jesus, that's someone's. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but like that's someone's child, mother, daughter, son, father. Do you know what I mean? That's just a brother. Like it was scary, and it just kind of made you realize that it's just a game of football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I was actually quite surprised because it happened on the other side to the benches. But they still ran the defib from the bench across. And I thought, surely a stadium like this would be equipped with defibs all over the place. I'm only assuming that they didn't have one because they ran one over. But I was a bit concerned. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty big deal not to have a defib, on the other end of the pitch. So. I don't know, because we had unfortunately a couple of years ago we had a young junior pass in our district where he collapsed, and there was a big push to get defibs at every local park. So we've got one at our park as well. So I was conscious of it because I saw them running across the field with it, and I just thought, wow, that's pretty serious not to have one on the other end. And it was just an assumption they may have had one, but. It was, and all reports have come back that particular spectator's come out okay.
And I think there was a doctor. I think there was a doctor in the crowd.
There was a doctor.
I seen
Do you
the
think
video.
the stewards should be at least educated to first aid?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I think there was some. They were attending to them. So I saw stewards in the background footage, and I know they were attending to the person, but I don't know whether or not they were equipped with the defib and whatever else they needed to sort of make sure they could look after the person. But look, thankfully it was all okay.
Because so I'm like, shout out to the person, and then big up to the doctor, man. It's obviously Newcastle never got the result. I think we could all say that it's going to take a lot of work with Newcastle. I don't think anyone ever. I think everyone knew that. They're 19th for a reason. I think it's safe to say Gucci man, Alex Saint-Maximin's probably the only one that is safe in that team. Maybe Callum Wilson. Maybe. Exactly, it's debatable. I think they could get a better striker. couldn't they? You know, if they worked their
Easily.
way up the pitch. You know, so I think Saint Maximan, I really like him. I think. Do you know when I see Saint Maximan, guys? I feel like he's like,
Is Prime underwater again? Are you underwater again, Prime?
What?
yeah, getting a lot of background feedback.
It's the waterfall. He's got a
Water.
waterfall in his house, you see. Prime's loaded. You know what I mean? He's got these nice feature walls and shit. You walk past, water falling down here.
He's probably telling.
That Arab money, bro. It's that Russian money. Sorry,
Shit.
that Russian money.
He's got lawn
He
in
must
the
have flooded.
background. He's got lawn in the back.
Hey, Bobs, I know we're speaking about Newcastle, but another thing I wanted to mention in terms of football that was seen throughout the weekend in the Dutch
football
league. I can't
capital.
remember what the team in the Dutch league. I can't remember what team it was, but I think they ended up winning, and the fans were jumping in that grandstand, and the grandstand snapped.
I
Yeah.
saw
And
that.
you know what?
Yeah, I
Given
saw that
credit,
too.
because 0 fucks was given, they were still
They're still jumping.
yeah, they're still going
Yeah.
hard. The stadium collapsed, but we're still going hard. That was something that was
Let's
funny
break
and-
this. Let's break this.
Yeah,
Did
wasn't
you
funny,
see
but
that? I saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
As well.
yeah.
I saw that as well.
let's carry on, lads. Let's carry on. Let's
Would
get
you-
stuck in.
Steve, Arsenal playing on Friday. Aston Villa away. I think
Oh.
you're away. Are you away?
Home.
No, we're
Home.
home.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Thoughts? Just a quick before we wrap up.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I don't know what our formation's going to be. I kind of know what our starting lineup's going to be. Prediction: loss, and possibly 2-goal deficit.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
see us winning that game mainly because on present form,
Mm.
it's just you got to call a spade a spade. On present form,
I respect that.
no.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, but
KG.
on form, you guys going into the
Well-
Spurs game. On form going into the Spurs game, you were 0 from 3.
Yeah, but Arsenal, listen,
Yeah,
Arsenal
that-
better than Spurs.
I'm
Come
trying
on,
to give him
man,
hope,
like-
Bobs. Shh. I'm trying to give him
No,
hope.
I know, but come on, like to be honest, Arsenal were always going to win that game. Listen, Tottenham can always huff and puff, but you know, like I saw the social media, the Tottenham fans, like, come on, like respect yourself, humble yourself. If Arsenal came to the party, they're going to win. Do you know what I mean? It's just the way Tottenham have been playing, they were never ever going to really dent Arsenal. And as much as it pains me to big them up, you know, I'm just being honest. KG, Liverpool at the OT. Is that half 4? Is it
Bobs.
half 4? So what time is that for you?
Just another win,
two-
Bobs. Just another win.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning over here. But
Jeez,
yeah,
that's a
look.
ruined, eh?
yeah, no, I'm on leave, so that's fine. I'm happy to do a post match if you want. But yeah,
We'll
look,
get
I don't have much confidence going into the game, but obviously I'll always back United against Liverpool because it is the the marquee match for us every season. So, and it is at Old Trafford. You know what? I just hope we don't go in there with a defensive mentality for a 0-0 draw. That's all I hope. I hope it's an entertaining game. I hope we see some goals, and I hope United get the 3 points. But I'm not overly confident at the moment.
Lauren just said, KG, I'd be staying in bed. It's going to get messy. I think
Yeah.
she means it's going to get Salah.
I'm with you, Lauren. I'm with you. It ain't gonna be pretty.
We'll be up.
What about you?
It's gonna get messy. I don't know where it's gonna get messy, but not at the OT. Not at the OT. Yeah, this is gonna be probably the easiest game we played this season. Yeah, it's easy, bro. Come on, the PE teacher's gonna rock up and show these. Yeah, who's this Jurgen Klopp? What's this guy about? Slap him up. Mo Salah. We've got Ronaldo. Don't worry about that. Yeah, we've got Ronaldo.
Oh God.
Let's not act like Salah has not been pocketed by Luke Shaw before.
He's only
I
scored
think you
one
mean
goal.
Ashley Young. Ashley Young.
Ashley Young.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, my bad.
His
Yeah.
name. Do not mention his name. I'll leave the stream. Yeah, do not mention Ashley Young's name. Yeah, you
I
triggered
think,
me. No, United's gonna win. United's gonna win because all his job is when his job is on the line, thin ice, hanging from a string. He gets the job done.
Okay.
Don't trip this up.
I personally think. Oh boy.
Positivity, Bobby. Positivity.
I think we'll give them a good game. I just think Liverpool's front three's quality will show. When? I don't know. But they will be on show. And the
So you're
form
saying 3-0
Salah's in
draw,
right
3-0
now,
draw.
if we're playing a very unfit Maguire against Jamie Vardy, with 1 week's training, Harry Maguire against Mo Salah. Yeah, listen.
Yeah, and that's you know what's gonna happen. Yeah, we're gonna lose tomorrow, and then a new manager's gonna come in. New manager bounce just in time for Liverpool.
Listen, I'm not.
Carrot gets the win.
Listen,
1 from 1 best record as a manager at United.
I don't really
record.
want to touch on Ole or any managers because the whole social.
You shouldn't be
media,
touching managers at all, mate. You know, you shouldn't be touching them at all, mate. Just don't touch them. It's inappropriate. It's,
and Prime,
you might need to, mate. Sometimes that Ivan Milat style, you might need to.
Who did Chelsea have?
Norwich, they got Norwich.
Oh,
Norwich,
right. On that
Norwich's first win. Congratulations to Norwich. They get the first win. Timo Pukki. Forget about Timo Werner. It's Timo Pukki in the building.
To be fair,
To be fair, what do you mean to be
to
fair?
be fair, you shouldn't
fair,
be playing
let me
them.
laugh,
You know,
let me-
you just let them stay at home and take the 3 points. Let's just
No,
be fair.
Prime
to be fair,
there for Norwich.
to be fair, we cannot create. For
Yeah, neither
I can't swear on this term. We cannot create for
Prime, you're
piss.
top of the table,
So
dude.
I know, but that's because City are our only challengers. But realistically, like we can't really create properly. So thus far this season. So
Norwich can't score an open
Bro,
goal. Did you watch the
Jorginho's
weekend?
Ballon d'Or winner. Jorginho's Ballon d'Or winner. You can't create.
yeah, but like you just said,
Chelsea are going to
Ballon
win
d'Or's
that
a
game, and it's going
like
to be
you-
Mendy to win it for him. He's going to score a goal.
like you just said,
Mason Mount is in the nominations. You can't create. Lukaku's in the
the
nominations.
Ballon d'Or popularity contest.
Mendy.
Messi.
Once
Mendy-
Mendy scores a goal against
Not because
Norwich,
Messi
he's
deserves
a
it.
Ballon d'Or. He scored a goal.
I've seen Alisson
back
assist
post.
Salah. I've seen Alisson score and I've seen Alisson assist. So step your keeper up, man. Mendy,
Yeah, bro.
I know what you're about.
Mendy got the pre-assist in the Champions League final.
What about free kick? What about free kick
Get out of
responsibility?
here. Shit, man.
Direct.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Shit, man. Pre-assist. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I forgot. You guys don't understand what a Champions League final is. It's a long time since you guys have been
Yeah,
in.
we
there.
have actually. We have. Yeah, what happened?
I think we got.
2008. How old were you?
I think we got
born?
3.
Were you just born in 2008? What happened? Who did
How
you
old
play
were you in
again?
2008, young man?
How old were you there, young man?
I can't say
Don't
shit.
talk. Hey, no,
Don't
don't
talk
talk about the
about
past. Don't talk about the past. Don't talk about the past.
Right,
no,
you won the Champions
your
League last
Champions
season. That's the past. What are you chatting about? How old were
It's
you in
this
2008
calendar year.
when your
I don't reveal
captain
my-
JT slipped?
He
I don't-
loves
I don't-
moving goalposts. He
I
loves
don't.
moving goalposts.
I don't reveal my age.
Why? What do you mean? Don't reveal? Shut up, man. I know how old he is. So just say it.
Look, leave Prime alone, okay? He's 18 years old and proud. Leave him alone.
Nah, I'm not that young. I'm 23.
Okay.
You're in.
Oh.
How old
You
were
don't
you
look.
in
You don't look a
2008?
day over 18, mate. You don't. You're aging well.
No. Black. Go on,
In
Prime,
what?
go on, Prime.
2008, I was.
Clueless.
You were 10, right?
No. Wait.
He was a
you were
good Chelsea supporter. Now he's got.
Depending what specific date the final was
2008,
actually on. I was
You're
either
either
9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
I was a lead supporter then. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's most Chelsea supporters. Yeah, I mean,
Because my birthday's in May.
Palace or something. Into
So, we,
No,
so we,
Chelsea.
we beat you on your birthday then, huh? Birthday week. Not
Is that what you tell
Was it?
me?
Yeah, birthday week. Yeah.
Yeah, so we beat you on your
remember what
birthday.
happened in that final.
Oh, primey baby.
But it's cool because my club has won 2 on my birthday week, so it's fine.
Listen,
Yeah.
do you know what, Prime? Do you know what?
But anyways,
Just enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Fluke. Which one?
Yes.
Enjoy it.
Which
Both.
one?
Both.
Which one? The one where Mendy was the best. The one Mendy has the best defensive record.
Both of them.
Okay.
oh
Cool.
no.
Who's that? Who's
So
that?
what about the one where Solskjaer just stuck out his leg? Is that a fluke?
It was
So
a
the one where
top-
Solskjaer just stuck out his leg is that a
Yeah,
fluke?
Bobs,
What
wrap
about
it
the
up,
one?
Bobs.
The one
For
where
the
Henri
safety of
missed 3
everybody
sitters?
on this
The one
show.
where Henri missed 3 sitters. Is that a fluke as well? Or are we just? I don't know.
Yeah,
What are we doing?
100%. He didn't want
Okay.
it. He didn't want that
For
one.
the safety of everyone on this show, wrap it up, Bobs.
But this is going down a very dark path,
We've
man.
got
I don't see light at the end of the tunnel.
On that note, guys. on that
No, we've
note,
got 2 minutes. I've got OCD. I can't be like 1 hour and 29. We've got to get
Yeah, but
30.
by the time Bob's wraps it up, it'll be at 1:30.
Oh,
yeah.
Listen. Thank you again for people that joining us, people that stayed up with us. Thank you so much. KG, thank you for joining us. You are welcome every time. You want to
Appreciate it,
come on,
fellas.
100%. Steve, as always, bro, welcome to the family, bro. Thank you so much for joining. Please, guys, make sure you go and check Steve out. Steve, let them know where they can find you, Instagram and YouTube, man.
Yeah. It's the Aussie Gooner on YouTube. Just check me out. Got some bits up there. I'll have my Aston Villa one up soon. And I'm on Insta, Aussie Gooner.
Big up. KG, let the people know where they can find you. Hashtag the gaffer.
They can find me sitting next to Borce at the football capital, and it's KG on Instagram as well. So check us out.
Big up. The gaffer's in the house. Prime.
Oh yeah.
Is that you texting Lauren? Look at the Colgate whites. Look at the Colgate whites.
Oh no! Prime's lost for words. Oh no!
I'm just finishing, baby. We're just wrapping up. Kiss.
All right, I'll come back here next week on the slander session about Rooney. Don't try it. But anyway,
Rooney.
Yeah, or Fergie. Anyway, you guys can catch me on the Football Terrace. You can catch me on. You can catch me on the First XI. My Twitter is down there, and also Fergie's a fraud. Bye, people.
We went.
You know what I'm going to do? One sec. What I'm going to do for Christmas, just for you, Prime.